friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jill and this is At Home on Park. Today I would like to share with you how I set the table for Easter on a budget using primarily items that I've thrifted over the years, a few that I've recently thrifted. With those items we are going to create some DIY projects, and a few I picked up at Target and Joann Fabric, again on a budget, not spending much money. And I'm going to just show you a few items that I already had and how we're going to tie in with the projects we're going to create, and in the end we are going to set the table. So first I'm going to start off with this charger, plastic charger. Picked it up at the dollar store. I have about 30 of these. I've had them for years. They still sell them. The gold I use for Thanksgiving, but for Easter I want to lighten the look, so we're going to repurpose those chargers. I have these plates here I picked up at the consignment shop a few years ago. They're creamy white. They have a silver inlay and the silver trim on the edge. Also picked these up at the consignment shop last year. They are like a periwinkle blue flower along with the silver trim. Now my initial thought in doing my tablescape was not to use this tablecloth that I purchased at Goodwill last year. I was going to use a cream color, but I thought, I picked this up, I haven't used it, I really like it, we're going to incorporate it. So with that being said, when my original thought was the cream color tablecloth, I picked up, it was not so much cream color, but more of a white. I picked up these napkins to decoupage onto the chargers. So now that I'm going with this print, I am going to go back to the store. I picked them up at the grocery store. I'm going to go back to the store and I'm going to pick up the print that had the hydrangeas on them. They were like a pink and blue and purple hue hydrangea. So I think I'm going to pick those up and we're gonna use those. And the pattern, or these napkins that I picked up, I can use them for another project or just entertaining through the spring and summer. I picked up this fabric from Joann Fabric yesterday for $3.99. Their cotton fabric is on sale this week. So we are going to create napkins. Letting you know it's going to be an easy project because I do not use a sewing machine. I hand sew everything. I've said for years that I want to learn how to use the sewing machine, so it's definitely on my bucket list to do. So with these napkins, we're going to give it more of like a live edge, and we'll wash them, cut them, wash them, I'll iron them. They will look very pretty, but they're going to have more of a live edge, but it'll look good in the end. So we have the napkins. I have these candlestick holders. Again, I've had these for years. I use this candlestick holder, well, I have two of them. I used them during one of my Christmas DIY projects where I took a Christmas tree that I purchased at the Goodwill and I hot glued it on and place them on the table here, and then you can just pop them off when you're done. So now I get to repurpose them for this project, and we are going to incorporate these with these little trays. I picked these up at Goodwill for $3.99. I don't think I paid $3.99. I know I didn't pay $3.99 for these, but I have two of them. We're going to place them on there. I had these little bunnies that I picked up at Target for $1 just the other day. So we'll incorporate all of this together. We'll do a pretty arrangement in the center. And I have the same pattern in these little saucers. And I picked, again, these up last year. This must have been a popular print because I see this pattern all the time. And I just picked these up the other day. So we are going to take our little couplings that I picked up at Home Depot, and we are going to make this into a candle arrangement. So this way it ties in our centerpieces to our tablescapes. I have these bunnies I picked up at the dollar store last year. I have seen them there this year. And we are going to incorporate these with the bed of moss I have sitting here, applying these to each place setting with these little doilies. I picked up these doilies at Joann Fabric for $2.39. I thought they were super cute, so we're going to use these as well. So we are going to go pick up our napkins. We're going to come back. We're going to do our projects. Oh, I didn't show you this. This is an urn for $2.99. Picked this up at Goodwill the other day. So we're going to paint this, and this is going to be our centerpiece. How do I forget that? So we're going to work on that as well. Again, I'm going to go to the store, pick up the napkins, come back to the projects, and in the end, I am going to show you how it all comes together. So if that sounds good to you, follow me. I forgot to mention that I will be using these chargers as well that I picked up off Facebook Marketplace a few years back. Here are those hydrangea napkins, and now that I have them at home and I'm looking at them with all my other colors, I'm not really feeling those napkins. In my head, I envision them with more blue, and then after picking them up and getting them home, I see that there's more purple than I was anticipating. So here I'm just taking each napkin. I picked these leafy print napkins up as well, and I do like this look, but I want to show you guys each napkin with the place settings, and please leave a comment below as to which napkin you liked best. But I really think I'm feeling my original choice. And here, even with those hydrangeas, I would need to use multiple napkins because they did not have any more of the larger ones. So in the end, I decided to go with the blueprint pattern. Because my charger is gold, I will be applying one coat of acrylic white paint before applying my napkin. Now, in doing that, I will not need to add Mod Podge to my charger because I will apply my napkin as the paint is still wet. Now, after I adhere the napkin, I'm just gently rubbing over it with my hand. I will have some wrinkles, which is totally fine. I am going for that shabby chic look. And once that is dry, I will then apply my Mod Podge. I have applied 2 coats. You can see a little bit of the gold that came through, but that's okay. I actually like that. So now I am just taking my sandpaper, and in a downward motion, I am just sanding the edges of the paper off. Okay, I'll finish these, but let's move on to our next project. So here we are going to make one of those little centerpieces that I talked about using this bunny, and we are just going to add some moss. We're going to glue the two together. I think I'm going to put this little garland around the bunny's neck and add a few little flowers, and we're done. I'm going to adhere the two using my hot glue gun so it's not a permanent fix and I can take it off when I'm done with it. So I'll work on the second one, but in the meantime, let's move on to our next project. We are going to create a stone-like appearance for this brass urn using some gray acrylic paint and some baking soda. So I'm going to mix my acrylic paint with my baking soda, and I'm looking for a pasty texture. So just add a little bit, stir, add a little bit more until you get the consistency you're looking for. Now you'll see that I'm taking my brush and wiping it along the bowl, and if it's just running down, I'm applying more baking soda until I get that thicker consistency. So now I'm just going to apply the first coat on by brushing and pouncing onto the urn so it's adhering that paint. You want to make sure that you let the first coat dry fully before applying the second coat. Here you can see it is the next day. I applied the second coat and let it dry overnight. So now what we want to do is we want to take our leftover paint along with some flour, and what I'm going to do is just brush a thin coat on, and then I'm going to sprinkle some flour, pounce it on, and this is adding to that stone-like appearance. I will do this along the whole piece. We'll let it dry, and I will add the flowers to the center once we decorate the table. Okay, now that we have this done, let's move on to our napkins. For the napkins, I am simply just going to cut a little slice with my scissors and then take my hands, pulling that fabric apart, and it gives it a nice, clean, straight line. And now I'm just going to pull the little pieces of thread. Now I did pick up 1.5 yards, and I'm looking to get 8 napkins out of this 1.5 yards. So I'm just going to continue to put my little slits, pull apart the fabric. I will then wash and dry them. And then we'll just cut off any little straggly pieces of fabric that remain, and we'll iron them, and we'll be all set. Okay, I now have all my napkins. We'll get them washed and dried, but in the meantime, let's move on to the next project. We are going to create moss-covered bunny heads for the centerpiece of each place setting. So we're just going to take half the egg, and we are going to apply the moss using this double-sided tape. Originally, I wanted to use hot glue sticks. However, I was out, and when I went to the dollar store, they only had the glitter ones. Now, I did pick them up, but I'm a little skeptical of using them. So I thought we'll try the double-sided tape, see how it works, and it did work really well. So you could use either or. I have to say, for touch-up on the edges of where I didn't apply the tape, I did go back with the glitter hot glue, which did work perfectly fine, and applied any additional moss that was needed using the glue. So now that we have our tape on the egg, I am just pressing the moss on. And again, like I said, for touch-up, I did use the hot glue gun. And after you have all the moss applied, you are then going to turn it over, take your scissors, and you just want to trim any excess off the bunny, just giving it a little haircut, giving it that definition. And then I'll just place it up against the napkin so you can get a visual of the look I'm going for. After placing it on the napkin, I thought it needed something more, so I took this silk ribbon that I had on hand and I just hot glued it to the bottom of his head. So we're going to do this 7 more times, but in the meantime, let's move on to our next project. For this last project, we are going to create our candlestick holders using the coupling and adhering it to the plate. I first took my metallic silver paint because I wanted to match the edges of the plate, but with that you still saw the gold coming through, so I then decided to use some gray paint and then put a layer of the metallic paint over that. And then it gave me that silver look that I was going for. After I applied 2 coats, I then took my hot glue and I adhered it to the center of the plate. And again, using the hot glue does not permanently set these items in place, so I can take them apart in the future if needed. And here we're just finalizing the project with some moss and some baby's breath that I had on hand from a previous project. Now that our crafts are complete, let's iron the napkins and get the table set. This pick of greens I picked up at Joann Fabric last week. It was half off for $3 and change. I then picked up some baby's breath at my local grocery store. I do have some water in the bottom of the urn, so it'll keep the baby's breath looking fresh. I picked up this bunny from the dollar store in the $3 section. I did remove the original raffia bow and I dressed it up with this ribbon that I had on hand. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found some inspiration, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.